Okay. Okay. So where are our pictures? Our images are right here. I just okay. So we have certain, how many faces of Calvin do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, this is such a cute face. 6. We have 6 faces, of which I think maybe we could consider not doing this one because it's quite similar to this yawn. We'll do one of these two. Okay. So 5. So let's try and distribute Calvin's faces across the page. Okay. We are going with the shape that we wanted. That's the large head. Okay. Give it a large enough means it's maybe a coin shape, little less than bigger than a coin. Okay. I'm just giving myself this thing. I'm also giving myself a body size. So look at this head here. I won't show it closer. We can erase this off later. That's not a problem. So over here, we are going to have a body that is roughly only this much. Okay. And under that body are some feet. Okay. Hands will come here. And that's it. This is roughly the size we want to go with. And the thing about making a comic strip, is that you want to try and ensure the same size. So Calvin's size should ideally not change when we change his expressions. Okay. So to keep that in mind, try and draw the remaining sizes right next to each other in pencil. So I'm going to look at the next picture. Even if I go up and down, that's fine. But more or less, my head and my body size should be the same as compared to what I drew earlier. So here's my head. And here's this. Now I'm going with this yawn picture. Okay. A curvy body. And those shoes. Okay. So that's the yawny one. Then we'll go for this one. This is absolutely perplexed look. So we are going to, again, draw our head. And his head is a bit triangular, by the way. See, if you look at it, no? Like this almost. It's almost like this. Okay. So that head has a body here, has legs.
The side is triangular, right? It looks like one of those kids who have a, like what they call it, hydrocephalus or something like that.
Correct. Yeah. Okay. So we've got now 3 shapes that are more or less the same. Then let's go to this one, this picture. So this picture also again match the head size. Okay. Roughly match the head size. And then the body is like this funny shape, like it looks like a quadrilateral that's top heavy. And then there are those shoes. Yeah. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and one more we have. Here, this one. Okay. So we could put it here, right next to it. Little lower. Let's again put a round head, more or less the same size. He's got hands coming down like this and a body, which is only this much. He's got legs this time, by the way. Something like this. And shoes. So his shoes remain. Now, if you look at all your versions of the draft of Calvin, they should look more or less the same size. More or less. Okay. All right. So that means your top half of the book ideally has all the Calvins that you want to try out. Correct? Okay. So let's try one by one. I'll start with my brush pen. We can look at the first character, the simplest face. The simplest face. Oops. Yeah. This guy, this face. Okay. So keep in mind, we are going to maintain the shape of the face. So the best thing to do is somewhere here is where the ear starts. I don't know why, but we need to start with some point in the body. And you can decide that for yourself. Some people may think that the hair is the best thing to start with. Someone likes the chin. Some people like the nose because it's the center in caricature. Your choice where you want to start. For me personally, I like the ear. I don't know why. That's also relatively central, like in line with the nose. But somehow I like the ear because I feel like I can make some adjustments to the width of the face. So I'm starting with the ear here and a slight line like this. Okay. Let's do the hair very brief steps. Okay. Don't overthink this. Do not overthink this. This is caricature. Don't overthink it. You are now going to go across the head like this, right? So let's just make those strokes as we see them. Easy enough? Okay. And from this side, don't go too low because his head, the shape of his head has to come till here. Okay. So we have to make this line. This is important. We need that forehead space. And the remaining part of his hair are like these spiky things sticking out. Leave that. With children, what you will observe is that this mouth, nose to mouth to chin, that area is often shortened. Okay. And that's simply because children have milk teeth. Milk teeth are small. The jaw is small. Everything is small. So from nose to mouth to chin, you have very small space. And as they grow older, like we were talking about permanent teeth coming in by 6 onwards, the face starts to elongate. Okay. So if you want to draw Calvin eventually, let's say as an adult Calvin, you will have to increase the length of his face and not keep it so ovalish round. It will have to become more oblong. Okay. So now we are drawing 6-year-old Calvin. Keep his face rounder and less oval. Okay. So that means his chin is not going to go very low. His chin is only going to stay here. Okay. And then you have an ear from this side, at this side. This shape is important. That's what we are trying to get at. That's what I'm trying to get at. This shape, once you get this shape, then putting the features is not going to change much. It's not going to make much of a difference. Okay. Then he puts these kind of dashes and a little 2 or 3 lines on the side to show his what is left of his sideburns. Now, somewhere in the middle here, lower on the lower middle part is where his nose is, which is a very simplistic nose. And in this case, his eyes are shut. So we just draw these moon shapes. The eyebrows are right on top. We are just leaving them there. They're very small. Don't make them very large. He has a very content look on his face. So that smile is stretched out with a small curve. So simple, right? Now for his body. So right under his chin, you will find this little line, which is his neck, the collar of his round t-shirt. And from there is no neck visible for this child. In all caricatures of Calvin, there is no real neck. Okay. So we are going to have to draw his shirt starting from the side of his face. That's the important part. So his hands start like this, sideways. Okay. And his body is very straight. There is no real shape to his shirt. But don't make the shirt too long because somewhere here is where his pants start. Now, before I draw the rest of the pant, what I normally do is fix his feet because the pant doesn't have to be long. So let me try and get his feet in nice proportion. It's a big round in the front, goes to the back, and comes up this way. Somewhere here in most of his comics, Bill Watterson does this line business. I'm assuming those are the straps. Okay. So same thing here. And a little bit of the line is exposed. Now, when you're drawing the rest of his pant, give it a little character. So over here, show some fold. See? So show some fold here. On the other side, no fold because it's the front. Keep it straight. And then you can just color in. So this is another reason why the brush pen is so comfortable, because you can just color it in. Okay. Simple. Put his elbows out that go behind. And finally, his shirt lines. See? They're very, very casual lines. They are not overly thought through. Okay. So you can imagine that this is a very quick illustration for um, Bill Watterson. How is your first Calvin looking? That smiley Calvin. Looking good? Does he look like Calvin as you imagine him? Now you have to analyze this first one. Why? Because you want to make changes. If it's not looking like the Calvin you have in mind, or you are seeing on your reference photo, you may have to make changes. So this is where you analyze and make that change for the next one. So if you feel his chin is too low, mouth is too high, ears are too big, hair is too spiky, whatever. This is where you will analyze and go to the next one with that change in mind. Okay. Anybody wants to show me that, Calvin? If you've drawn it. What I like about Bill Watterson's um, comic strips is that his lettering, was so even. So even. He just writes capital letters. Everything's in capital letters. Not a single small letter. But so evenly sized. Really cute. Shall we try the next one? This Yoni fellow? Oh, wait, let me see Ashwita's. Spotlight.
Just a
Oh,
second.
so cute. That is cute. Cute, no? Very nice, very nice. Super. Shalaka, let me see. Oh, very nice. Okay. So, Shalaka, I'll tell you what. His spiky hair can be a little more spiky. I mean, like, don't hold back. Make it little bigger, little spikier. There's no harm. Right now, your spikes are looking very constricted. Like, okay, I don't want to
Okay.
make it too spiky. Don't do that. Make it
Yeah.
spiky. Look at the proportion. If you look at the proportions, quite big. It's quite large. Okay. But other than that, you're doing well. That's good. Very nice. Oh, Vidyut, let's see. Oh, very nice. Even yours, Vidyut. That spike on the top, let it go up a little more. Okay. Let it go a little higher. Let it go. Other than that, you've got the face well. You've got the face well. Very good. Okay. So next one, keep that spike in mind. Both of you, keep that spike in mind. Okay. And see whether you can make it a little higher. Nothing's gone wrong with it. It's quite nice. Okay. Next one is our yawny guy. Okay. Yawny guy doesn't have eyes. So his eyes are just like lines. It's so lovely how he's captured this emotion, so lovely. Now his face has changed slightly. It's not round as round as this. It's a little bit side on the side. So like I was telling you earlier, now your ear is low. See where the ear is. Okay. It's on the side and it's a little bit triangular looking, the head. Keep that in mind. And I'm going to start as always with my ear. Okay. And that top portion behind the ear. Now I want to get the shape of my face first. Before I put all the features, I want to just get the face right. So every line, look at your reference photo clearly. Okay. So we are going like this. And there are these bends to indicate the fold of the skin. Then the chin is definitely low. Somewhere here in line with this or higher than this is where the chin goes like this. Correct? And on top of that is his forehead. Now it becomes easy for us to put the spikes. So the spikes are going to be this way. See? Go easy on this thing. It's perfectly, you'll get it. Don't hesitate. And his strokes are like that. Huh? His spike, he's not thinking. You can see in his strokes, very, very fast and very quick. So just do this much. See if you can get the face. Try just this much. You want to get a slightly wide head and a tapering chin, because now the chin is quite pronounced in the yawn. Okay. So try this much. Then we'll do the rest of the adjustment. Now, unlike normal cases where the nose should be roughly here at the center, this guy's nose is going to be here, right on top. Okay. So his nose is going to be right up here, and it's going to be upward facing like this. Eyes are just slits. They're just slits like this. See? Same way on the other side, two slits to show that the eyes are closed. Now you have all the space you need to make that big mouth. Okay? So the mouth starts somewhere here. It opens up, comes here, curves a bit. Draw the shape. Okay? And then somewhere here is the tongue, which is like another little circle, nothing more, with a line. That's it. You've got the shape. If you've got this much, you've got almost everything right. Coloring in the mouth, which is all dark. Once again, our boy has no neck. So we are simply putting that little curve of his t-shirt and we are arching that back. He definitely has an arch of his back. So arch that back like this. His slumped hands are going to be this way. One hand over here. Slumped hands. Now his fingers, if you notice his fingers in all of Bill Watterson's comics, he doesn't have 5 fingers. Like most cartoons, digits are reduced, okay, because they want chunky digits. So here in most cases, you will see at best, you will see four digits. Most of the time on the side, you will see only 3. Okay, so this is important. If you want to practice this, I would recommend take a pencil and just practice this hand. So there are 2 lines, okay, and a curve, and then start the digits. So you have one like this, another like this, and a third like this. See, that's all. If you feel you want to practice this, this is something you should probably try before you directly put it here. And if you want to do that in pencil also, no harm. You can easily do this in pencil first just to get the proportion right. So one finger here, and one finger here joining into the hand. Same thing for the other side. A thumb and a long finger and another finger, and that's it. It joins in. So actually, if you look at the picture, he's slouching over and holding his knees. So let me ink this. Thin arms, very thin arms. Don't press down your brush pen. If you're using a brush pen, don't press it down right now. Then over here, his belly also comes. See, he has a curved belly. And those pants come here. Do you see this knee like this? Curving a bit? He's got his hand on his knee. Okay. And finally, you want his shoes to come in. And here you can see a little more of his shoes. So give the shoe a shape first. Back is less. The front is always larger. Always larger. The back is less. And here you have this line. There's nothing. Pant comes all the way here. Now, technically, there is a curve over here also. Technically. But you can't see it because the pant is all black. No need to worry about it. That other knee is not required. You can just color it in black. And you won't notice anything much. Done. It is nice to give him a little bit of reference by giving that baseline. See that line to show that he's standing on the ground and not suspended in air. Okay. So this may be a great place to do that. At somewhere at this height of the shoe, you can put a line, a slight line on both sides to indicate, okay, this guy is standing on something, on the ground. That's it. This character is done. Put his lines on the shirt. Follow the lines that are given. And you're done. That's a sleepy Calvin. Is that looking like a sleepy Calvin to you? But do you notice that the shape is now becoming more or less consistent? You're not getting a big Calvin and a small Calvin. That is not changing. Simply because you gave yourself an outline. Okay? A structure. So it's looking quite even, uniform. That's important. Now, which one shall we take? This one? Yeah, this is the one. No, I think we left some space for that. Here also you can see that top triangular look on his head. Okay. And again, I'm starting with the ear, which is in the space that I have given myself, somewhere here. Okay. So let's do the ear. His ear is more or less the same size every time. I do this almost every time I start. So this time his chin is a little lower than normal, but only a little. And somewhere in line with his ear, he has got a cheek which is visible. It was not visible otherwise. And then, of course, that forehead. A small ear sticking out at the same line as your other ear. Now for the hair. Hair, remember, go easy. Go free. So big spikes, big spikes, big spikes, lines. A thin line over here, and maybe 2 lines here. Now again, his nose is center because this is not an open mouth. So his nose is somewhere here in the center. We can put that nose. Okay. But the eyes are large. Now the eyes are occupying all the space over here. Big eyes. Okay. So go easy with your brush. Don't draw them as perfect full circles. They are not full circles. They are not full circles. There is some gap between the nose and the eyes. So try not to draw a full circle. Let's take the first one. Go high. Bottom of the eye is dark, as if to indicate, crying or tears or some heaviness under his eye. So keep that heaviness. If you're using a monoline pen, I think Shalaka, you're using one. Here you can darken it a bit, run your pen a few times and get that darker shade underneath your eye. So same thing here, eye goes round, but darken what is under the eye. Even the nose is a little darkened. See, under the nose. Okay. He's put some lines over here. All this is to show some sort of movement, like the eye is getting he's getting teary-eyed over here. Or at least he's, if not teary-eyed, I'd say maybe like stumped. And here, Bill Watterson gives him big eyes. See, pupils are like, okay. There's no eyebrow that I can see. These are still parts of his hair. So there's no eyebrow that you're going to put here. But we are going to put this long, crooked mouth. Starting here, it's wobbly and it curves. Under the chin, the round neck, that triangular body. Now his hand, the same hand that you did here, you're going to do a very similar hand over here, but only one hand. So the hand comes out. 1, 2, 3. Only 3. This side, the hand is barely visible. Shirt has to be more or less the same length. So we have 1, 2, 3. Not more than this. Keep that shirt length over there. Okay. Then comes his shoes. I always tell you the shoes are the best to do first. Big shoes. That line over here. And once that is done, you can put his shorts or pants, color it in, lines on his shirt. There you go. So your third Calvin is more or less the same size, I hope, in your case also. I want to continue putting this little whatever madness is going on in his head that's making him giving him that expression. How's it looking? How are your three Calvins looking? Taking shape? It's very nice to draw as like a single item also, without Hobbes. You can just leave this Calvin there with some expression or some thought clouds coming or some, I can just imagine the places you can use Calvin and his expressions. Cards and so many things. How's it looking, Ashwita? Let's see. Oh, so cute. They're really looking nice. And see the proportions good. Good proportions. Very nice. How's it looking, Vidyut? Oh, very nice. So now in that third case, just a little bit change would be that your legs have become little long, just a wee bit. Okay. But other than that, very nice. It's so good that you drew the pencil marks. They're maintaining their shape. Very nice. Super. Good. How's it looking, Shalaka? How's your monoline? I'm very curious to know whether your monoline is working out for you or not. It is. It is. Oh, very nice. Okay. So you have gone a little freer with the uh, spikes. I can see the hair is definitely getting a little more good. So you weren't able to draw this one. Do you want more time? You want more time to do this? I don't mind waiting. If you want to just do that and finish it, I don't mind waiting. Because we can proceed at each one's speed, because this is now you've got the hang of it, right? Now it's just maintaining certain common things. That's it. And paying attention to the expression. How about you all try this one? Okay. Give this a go. Now this guy is looking like super evil. Huh? His expression is so good, that one eye big and that tooth on one side, that mouth open like that. That's the whole thing you have to capture. Everything else becomes easy afterwards. So let's see if we can catch that expression. Nose is more or less in the center, more or less. What else can I tell you? Ears and all of the same size, nothing else. His shoulders are nicely bunched up. Fingers, just be careful before you do the fingers. Maybe just wait for me to show you how the hands, are going one on top of the other. Just that. Other than that, I think the rest is fine. Give it a go. Come, start. Keep his chin shorter. Face mustn't get elongated. This is the max elongation we have on the face. The longest his face will be. Now it's again becoming compressed. Forehead is short this time, not like how we normally draw, no, a long forehead on this side. That's not. This side, spiky hair. going to keep his nose somewhere here. Okay. And his nose is going to that eyebrow, no? The central, the furrowing of the eyebrow. That's important. You have to catch the furrow, the two lines of the furrow. Then use that as your reference to make the eye big and make the eye small on the other side. And look at that eyebrow. They made him like given him a unibrow. It's not an eyebrow, probably the crinkle on his forehead. You know, he's just gone
Big
crazy over there.
smile.
He's just gone. Yeah, he's just gone given him some really funny crinkle. This is small, and this is big. A nice. Now that smile, no, starts from here, goes down, and there you go. That expression is just too good. Now for that shoulder. Shoulder comes down this way on both sides. It's inward, okay? We have that bunched up shoulders, no? So inward. Now the just pay attention to the hand. The hand is like something like this, okay? So we want to show the correct finger over the right finger. So there is two or three fingers here on top, but on top of that is the thumb of the other hand, okay? So keep that in mind. So we could start off with the thumb. That's the best thing. Do the thumb, okay? And next to the thumb, do those two fingers of the other hand. One, two. Okay. So now you have the thumb and the two fingers of the other hand. Then there is a thumb over here, which is the thumb of the other hand. So now you've drawn three fingers of one hand and only the thumb of this. This thumb is going to be U-shaped, right? It's going to be U-shaped. It's going to sit like this. That's his hand. So there's a finger coming out from here, one more coming out from here, and it comes up. And your shirt and the elbow just join it. Okay. So now finally that U-shaped part of your hand, this part. And this is sitting like this. So this is the effect. This side, all you need to show is that angle. The angle of the elbow is enough. No need to show any more length. And then you're done. So his pant comes down till here. Sorry, shirt comes down till here. Pant is very small. So this time be careful. Put his shoes there first. So you want his shoes to come out from here, go forward. The moment you put the shoes, you will automatically have no place to make the pant too long. Crooked pant. And a rounded knee here. That's it. Crooked pant on one side, but a rounded knee on this side and color it in. Done. Let's put our line, reference line. And finally, the lines of the shirt. So how many expressions is that? 1, 2, 3, 4. Last one. This one. And in this one, Calvin is wearing an extra, something like a sweater. Okay. So we have to remember that. Why? Because the arms are not very thin. They're not thin because there's a sweater. So all these places we were making his arm like super thin, right? Super thin arms. But now you have to make this chunky thing that looks like an arm because he's wearing a sweater. I was wondering why his hands are so chunky here, and it's only because of the sweater. That's why I realized it's a sweater. Okay. Here, be careful of your hand position. So this hand is going over the mouth. We need to have a thumb and 1, 2, 3. This is where you're seeing all his four fingers. The maximum that Bill Watterson has shown ever. All four fingers of the right hand, and the left has only two fingers sticking out from the inside. Okay. Here the head is a little, let's say, covered up. Okay. So let's draw the ear. I always start with the ear as always. Okay. And the side of his head. Then I'm going to draw this arm, which looks a bit like a L shape. See? Now we do this backward thumb. See, backward thumb. Forward fingers, 1, 2, and 3. On the other side, we have another arm coming out from here, slightly triangular. And we have a thumb here. Oh, sorry, thumb here on this side and another finger. That's it. So we've got his hands. Now comes the other ear on this side. Big eyes. With the thin part of your brush pen, draw these big eyes. They are not joined. And the eyes are like this. It's very similar to this expression, by the way, this one. Very similar to this expression. So you have these extra lines under his eyes coming here. And finally, his hair. Now his shirt comes down here, stops here. This time you have a little bit of pant visible. The pant is very short, so keep that curve of the pant visible. Can you see this? This curve of the pant, because his legs are apart. After you draw the curve of the pant, it's very simple. Draw one leg this way and draw the other leg the other way. Big feet. Done. Now the legs which you draw are also going to be a little bit roundish. That's it. Done. Color in the black pant. Draw those lines on his shirt. Here you only see two lines. And the jacket. So the jacket is kind of flying out. And the inner part of the jacket is also black. Reference line goes through the center also. Anything else? There you go. So Calvin is not very difficult at all. At least not difficult to copy once you have a rough proportion given. Now let's try Hobbes. How are your Calvins looking in a line? Are they looking nice? By the way, Calvin is blonde. He's a blonde guy, which is why we don't need to color in his hair dark. You can take your kneadable eraser instead of erasing and just Erase those pencil marks. So that Calvin looks better. Oh, there's some pencil. Okay. Shall we move on to Hobbes? Hobbes the tiger. Just to get a bearing of an understanding of how tall he is, you must always keep Calvin as your reference. Okay. So I know I've given you pictures of Hobbes with on its own, like standing on his own, but I will share one more picture, and that's a picture of Calvin and Hobbes together. Okay. Because we've got Calvin now, we are going to draw a picture of Calvin and Hobbes. We are going to keep Calvin's proportion the same, exactly the same. Okay. And then we are going to draw Hobbes in proportion to Calvin. So let's see one of him standing. Mm, There you go. This is a nice one. Okay. So what we'll do now, we'll draw the we'll draw Calvin here. Okay, we'll give him his proportions at the same type of proportions we had for the previous illustrations. We draw his body. His body is somewhat like this. Okay, he's got shoes. I'm drawing this very rough because we just want this size to come back here. So roughly this size over here. Then we can leave some, we can do some estimation for Hobbes. So Hobbes is almost double, not almost, more than double, a little more than double of Calvin, which means you're going to have one plus two. Hobbes is going to be almost as tall as here. Okay. And he's a very lean chap. So he's going to have this block. You can keep this kind of a block for Hobbes. Okay. His feet are in line with Calvin. So let's put some big bare feet, tiger feet. Okay. He's got this curve to his body. That's the middle section of Hobbes's white section. Then he's got this curve to his legs. His tail sits around here. For this particular picture, it's right here. What else? He's got hands that come quite low. And then it's very similar to Calvin. See that shape? And where does his head come? So we have to fit his head somewhere here. This thing gets over here. And let's say we put a chin here. Chin, mouth, nose. Are we getting too short? Eyes, top of the head, ears, and all these whiskers. So this is very generous with the whiskers. Good enough? What I would recommend is, because we want to get this proportion a little better, let's start with Hobbes's head. Okay? Let's start with Hobbes's head. Then we'll go and do all the rest. Because I don't want his head to look disproportionate. Hobbes's head, if it has to fit here, I'm going to start with that curve. Some spiky hair, fur here. A little bit of an ear, which is dark. And a larger ear on this side, which has got a line, and a side. This is there for Calvin and Hobbes in many of their illustrations, the side lines. Now, in Hobbes's case, we can go like Calvin's hair, we can go with smaller, shorter, nicer strokes to give you that fuzzy look. Jerky movements and a chin. Now, before you do the remaining face, let's get the nose in place. So the nose is not exactly center, it's a little less than center. It's not triangular, and often it has got a white line on it. I'm putting that white line because oftentimes he's got a small little sliver of a white line. Here his expression is very udas. So we do that and we give him big eyes. Then comes his body. So the fuzz of his front, wishy-washy line. Don't have to be perfect. And over here somewhere starts his arm. Now, if you're using a pen like mine, you're going to get thin and thick strokes naturally because as you draw the line, you'll get thin and thick without any problem. Okay. So, there. A little curve, a big one, a small one, and one like this. That's it. On the other side, you can barely see his hands. They're just like disappearing off here. Now, if you've got his hands, you know where to turn this portion. Correct? And from here is the leg. Already he's looking like Hobbes, for me at least. Is this much of Hobbes coming out all right for you? Even Hobbes's stripes, like Calvin's shirt, are very erratic stripes on the body of the animal, but they are not thin. That's what you have to remember. The stripes on his shirt, the stripes on Calvin's shirt are thin stripes. We don't press too much. But on Hobbes, you have to make the lines quite dark. So, Shalaka, if you're using your fine liner, just go over the line and make it thicker. Hobbes's lines. I'm talking about Hobbes's stripes. Okay, make them just a wee bit thicker than you would Calvin's shirt. Calvin's shirt can be that single line. That's fine. But Hobbes's lines have to be a little thicker. Okay. Now Hobbes's leg, foot, not leg, foot is somewhere here. Okay. It's so kacha. If you look at the way he's drawn it, it's so very. There's no real nothing he's done. He just put like, okay, there you go. Anyone can draw this. So leave that characteristic of Hobbes as it is. Don't make it too perfect. And then his tail goes this way, round. Somewhere here it starts again, goes round, curves. See? This is a very Udas Hobbes. Huh? Now, a few more things on his because this tiger, he's a tiger, stuffed tiger. You have to show a few lines here, just a few, to indicate that he is the stuffed tiger. And then continue those lines thick over here. Press down your brush pen just a little bit and you'll get those thick lines. See? Thick and thin, it's fine. This side is almost non-visible. Here, be careful, white in the center, don't touch it. Keep your lines only here. in this portion. As you come lower, you will have more lines, getting not more lines, but longer lines. See? And he separates the lines of the two legs. If you notice, the curve of the line changes slightly for the tail because now the tail is turning, right? So try to maintain these kind of changes in his. See, now here the line becomes over. See? And the last part is all black. Not a bad Hobbes, no? Hobbes, sorry, Hobbes. Not a bad Hobbes. Next to this guy, we are going to do Calvin. But let's look at Hobbes. Are you satisfied with Hobbes? Is there anything that you feel could be different? Is the proportion looking right? That small face and long body? It's all in the proportion, I'm telling you. If you get the proportion, you've got most of it. It's quite straightforward. Now we can make a few changes, okay? And the change I would like to recommend is let's not draw Calvin the way he is looking here, okay? Let's change this comic. Let's make Calvin look different from what we have here as a reference. So we've got Hobbes. Let's see if we can get Calvin to look. Where's that picture that there you go. How about we try this Calvin? Since we didn't draw it, it wouldn't, I mean, we can imagine, you can almost imagine him saying these words. If I grow up to some sort of to become some sort of psychopath, because of this, you'll all be sorry. And you can almost imagine Hobbes's expression to be just this. Okay, so let's get this character of Calvin next to us here. Shall we try? Okay. Okay, so I'm just going back to the old picture. I want to see where next to Hobbes his ear is. So somewhere near Hobbes's hand is where that chap's ear is coming. Okay, I'm going to keep that as my reference. Okay, now going back to my Calvin of this madness. Okay, so somewhere near his hands, I'm going to start that ear and a longish jaw because he's got that mouth so open. Now I've got to be very tricky, very careful about this. The ear is here, the mouth goes all the way till here. So let me draw the mouth. There's a slight curve. Shape of the mouth is round. And the tongue is stuck here inside, which is like some amoeboid shape. Now around this mouth, we can do that the rest of his face, which is pretty much so close to his mouth. The ear is here. Above the mouth, we have a nose that is looking upward. Nostrils. Eyes, though, can barely see them. And his hand has gone all the way up. So his hand is sticking out here. Draw the thumb. This thumb is important. See? It's a classic caricature thumb. And this is the base of his palm. Now, 3 fingers are going to sit around this, okay? After you've drawn this thumb and that base of his palm, 1, 2, and 3. 3 fingers. Now put in all that hair that we love to put always. Big, flashy, sticking out from everywhere. Shirt has a slight thing. Arm is downward. Now here, that curve of his hand going up, because his hand is going up. Imagine the line of his hand going down this way and then put that curve like this. Okay. So start from here with imagine with your pen, go over this line over here, and then automatically you'll know where to start the. So this looks very realistic that yes, the hand is stretching out from behind there. Okay. Then that three-finger hand. Very, very simple now. We've done it many times. So let's go and do that. 1, 2, 3. A shirt that comes till here. And then straight away my shoes, because I want to get that in line with Hobbes's feet. Front of the shoe is nice and big. Curve of this is like standard things, huh? The curve of his knee and the back of his pant. Standard. You'll get so familiar that after a while you won't need to even think. You'll automatically be doing it the right way. Done. Now when you're doing the line, since he's standing next to Hobbes, remember to run that line on both sides like this. This may be difficult for you, Shalaka, to fill in the whole thing with black. So you can either take watercolor and just fill it up if you want. Okay. Because with a pen, it can be a little challenging. The brush pen is easy because it's nice and thick. But if you feel you want to color it in later with a sketch pen or something bigger, go ahead and do it later. Okay. The coloring of his mouth. Not bad. So now we have Hobbes and Calvin. Oh, we forgot Calvin's shirt. So, by the way, do you see these two lines? He sometimes puts this in, Bill Watterson, to indicate some folds of kapda. So, nice thing to put in. And then those thin lines of his shirt. Done. Calvin's done. Anything I'm missing out? So classic it looks, no? I'm thinking I could write the word Calvin and Hobbes over here. So look at my book. I have this book, Calvin and Hobbes, and he's got this nice lettering. Okay. So how about we write it in this kind of style? Huh? Since we have this space over here. Okay. Nice place to try this lettering. I'll erase this hand because why keep that hand? Okay. Okay. So what we're going to do with a pencil, I'm just going to imagine it's going to be a C. A is written so much like a child, it's really V, I is small, N is this crooked N, and is very small. A, N, D, Hobbes. H, O, one D like this. The E is so crooked, middle line is big, and S. Not bad, no? Use your largest pen for this. So if you have a 10 also, like 1.0 also micron, that would be good for this. Otherwise, I'm going to go in with my, you could do it this way also, by the way. You could give it an outline. You think that'll look nice? I'm not sure. Maybe the outline will look nice, no? Let's see. Let's see. We have nothing to lose. Nothing to lose at all. So I'm going to try outline. If you don't want to try outline, please don't force yourself. I love doing these things. Ooh, it's looking nice. I like it. This is the only reason I like these brush pens. They're so nice, no? They so much character they have. They bring thin lines, thick lines. Okay, so that N is like one funny N. Calvin and Hobbes. So this Hobbes has got a little bit of leftover. There. Perfect. HOB B E S. Cute, no? Oh, I love this. This is classic Bill Watterson. So now that we've done 5 versions of Calvin and of course 6th one with Hobbes in it, I throw it open to you. What would you like to fill up the rest of your space on this sheet with? Oops, sorry. Moment I move this camera, it goes off into some other angle and all. There. Any ideas for what we want to do here? Which character, what to do? More of these two? How's it looking, Ashwita? Let me see your Hobbes and Calvin together.
Not finished.
Okay, that's okay. That's okay. Nice to see them. Oh, very nice.
Hello. I like this one.
Very cute. That face. That face is like this.
This one is still.
So next time you do Hobbes, maybe what you should do is consider the gap between two Calvins. So if you're doing another Hobbes, consider putting him between two Calvins. Okay. So what will happen is it gives you a little allowance for if his head will not bump into Calvin's foot, right? Now, in my case also, it would have happened had I not done the other way around. Like I started, when I realized it did the pencil marking, I realized his foot is going to touch, his head is going to touch the foot. So what I did is I kept the head first, I did the head first, and then I adjusted the rest of the body and told myself that, yeah.
This exaggerated the height.
Correct. So if you're doing another Hobbes, consider doing it in this space, like here, between, okay? Or maybe on the side of one Calvin, not directly under Calvin, if possible, just so that, it gives you some moving space, breathing space, because this guy is quite tall now, and our paper is actually not big enough to accommodate the same size of Hobbes. So now we have to be a little careful. What we are drawing of Hobbes has to be either a shrunken version. Let's go look for a Hobbes who's lying down. Then it's fine. No problem. We can fit him here. But if you're going to look for a standing Hobbes, then consider another a space. Okay. How's it looking, Shalaka? Let's see. 1 minute. Hold on. Oh, nice. Okay. Wait. Let me just look. Is that his back behind his hands?
Yes.
It is, no? Okay. So in this case, I think that line was not required, right? Because the hand is the last line over there.
Okay.
Okay, so don't worry about that. Leave it for now as it is. His head can be just a wee bit bigger next time you
Okay.
try. Okay, just a wee bit bigger. Length is perfect. Length is perfect. Everything else is perfect. And yeah, thickness of his this thing, when you do a brush pen, you'll get it right. That's not a problem. But his
Okay.
nose is good. His mouth is very good. Just the top of the head could be wee bit broader. I think you got it, but in proportion to the rest of the body, it's looking small.
Yes.
Maybe if you had made the rest of the body little thinner or shorter, it would have been fine. Okay.
Yeah.
But it's good, good, very good. Good job. Okay. Shall we do one more? Okay. Since we have another 10 minutes, let's try and do another Calvin and Hobbes. So, yeah, we'll do Calvin and Hobbes. I'll look for another one. There's one of them doing a dance. Have you seen that? Oh my goodness. They are so funny. And that one is color. So maybe we can do that. There's a dance one. Where's the dance one? Okay, I'll send you two. Two, okay? One has got a very cute, loving one. And the other is this dance. Like crazy people, they're dancing. Have you seen this one? So cute it is. It's just too cute. You can rest that the emotion there is so vivid. And this is, of course, very cute. It's just so endearing. So we could consider, let's just think of the space. Now, again, everything is proportionate. We are trying to keep proportion as a key factor here. So if we have to draw this one, Hobbes is sitting down, so that's not a problem. Let's say Calvin's head comes somewhere here. He's sitting inside of Hobbes's head comes here. His hand comes here like this. Okay, I'm just estimating. Leg comes here. Then he's got this big foot over here. One and one big foot here. Okay. And he's got some tail. Hand comes over here. 3 fingers. 1, 2, 3. And the other hand here. Okay. So something like this would be proportionate. Let's see. Looks proportionate, more or less. Okay. And then the other picture that we want, which you can do, one of these you can do it later. Doesn't have to be finished now. Let's see this one. Okay. So this one, let's say again, we are using Calvin as reference. Calvin is our reference size. Okay. So if Calvin is somewhere here dancing, so wait a minute. So Calvin is actually dancing little high off the ground. He's jumping off the ground. So I'm going to say his face is here. Okay. Hand is here somewhere. Body is here. Feet are here. Pants are here. Okay. So this is jumping Calvin. Hair is here. Hand is here. Other hand is here. Okay. This is my rough drawing. That means Hobbes has to fit with his curved back over here. That's Hobbes. Okay. And hand, his foot. Then the tail. And there's one more foot here, by the way. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Too close, too close, too close. Hand is going to hit his face. So this is not going to work. This is not going to work. I got Hobbes too close. So this is why we need to estimate with that pencil. So we forgot to estimate that hand. I forgot to estimate. The hand comes out till here. Okay. Okay. And then that U-shaped body and the back, leg, tail, and that foot over here. Hand is here. Okay. Shoulder comes like this. Oh no, it's not so bad, so much. Head comes here. Oh my, we're not going to be able to fit this. So let's change the hand. Let's not put his hand up. Okay. I can only fit his head here. Okay. So what do we do? Where do we put the other hand? Let's put his hand coming out from here. Yeah. Change it slightly. Why not? We can. Okay. So this way we've spaced out Calvin and Hobbes dancing, and we've got a Calvin and Hobbes sitting and hugging each other here. So which one shall we start with? We have to do one here. We'll do one in class and the other one at home. So which one would you like to do? We've just placed them. That's all. Oh, by the way, I will write over here since we have placed. Uh, Bill Watterson. Double T, by the way. We have to remember after the end of the day, it's Calvin and Hobbes by
Are
Bill
you
Watterson.
serious, Kaga?
Sorry? Okay. Which one? Come on. Ashwita, Shalaka, tell me. Which one would you prefer? The dancing guy? Dancing?
I would love the hugging one, cuddling one.
Which one? Hugging, cuddling one. Okay. All right. So what I'll do, okay. You know what I'll do? I'll give myself 10 minutes. I'm going to go super fast, okay? You don't have to follow me. I'm going to try and do both. Don't have to
Okay.
follow me. All right. So then you have it in the recording. You can slow it down, pause it, all that. But I'm going to go super fast and try and finish. Yes.
Susan, I'm so sorry. I looked for it at 6:10, and then I said there is still some time, and I'm busy with shifting of my daughter's this thing. She's
Okay,
shifting
okay.
to Bangalore, so that is why I'm here actually to help her. And
Okay.
I really missed it. Uh, I remembered it at 7:30. So
That's
will you
okay.
be able to
Yes.
post
I'm giving the
uh,
recording. I'll
share
post the
the
recording.
recording?
If
Yeah,
possible, today itself, if I can, after dinner.
yeah,
But
anytime,
if
anytime.
not, if not, little later into the night or something, you'll get it but tomorrow definitely. Okay. Now
Okay,
I'm going to go
okay.
fast. For those who are watching, y'all can watch, but I'll complete it. Okay.
Okay, thank
All right.
you.
Welcome. Okay. Hugging one. This one's tricky. I'm going to go with what is in the front. So let's start with his feet, which is a very funny thing to do. Yeah, it's a very funny thing to do because other proportions can go wrong. This is just like too cute, this thing. Okay.
Feet are almost as big as the head.
Huh?
Feet are almost as big as the head.
I know. That's the interesting part about caricature, They really can do so much. Okay, that much is done. Now this guy is kind of sitting in a very funny position. So I'm going to finish, I think, Hobbes first because everything I can see of Hobbes is on top. I'll fit Calvin afterwards underneath Hobbes. Tricky business. His elbow comes up over here. Okay. And now what I need to do is, okay, I'm going to leave it. Let's draw Calvin. Let's draw the other fingers. Small finger, bigger finger, and the biggest. Okay. And somewhere here is Calvin's ear. His head, his spiky hair. Okay. Um, and there's a smile on his face, which is getting covered. Now his nose is covered in the picture, but it's going to go a little off proportion if I make it covered in the picture. Okay. It's going to look a little funny. See, take a pencil. If I do this, his nose is going to look a little funny, a little off. So instead of that, I'm making a correction. Okay. Eyes will come here. Nose will come here. It's going to be fully visible. So these kind of changes, go ahead and make. Don't feel bad. You're not copying everything verbatim. Okay. So eyes and nose with a slight change. And his hand, important. His hand comes off like this. Shirt is here. Hand is here. And then that 1, 2, 3. Okay. So somewhere here there's a leftover foot, but I'm not going to worry too much about it because you can't see it too well. Shirt ka lines, let me draw. Some lines are like this, the hand ka lines are like this, so keep that in mind. Done. I think Calvin is fitting in there nicely. Next, I'm going to get on to Hobbes has to have a shoulder. So let's go over and give him a nice back that joins this portion. Not bad. Okay. Now his chin. Now this is going to be a little tricky. Yeah? Hobbes' head is not so low. So I'm getting a little out of comfort zone here. His chin is here. His smile is here. His nose is somewhere here. And his eyes are like this, which means his head, some part of his cheek which is covered over here, I'm going to have to draw, unfortunately. Proportion is otherwise a little wrong. So his head, oh, this pencil mark of mine is, okay. Somewhere it comes here. Head is here. Eyebrow. Does that look okay? Fairly. Not so great, but we'll have to do. Make do. Chin. Mouth. Nose.
What to say? The first one.
Okay. Then his smile is almost going up till here, by the way.
मिला उसको रीगल प्लाजा
And then this way.
बुक
Arch of his head.
बोले एक बना भी उसका बर्थडे
This way.
it's like a sequence.
Small strokes here because it's not as big as Calvin's hair. So I made his forehead a little big, but his forehead is actually only this much. And he's got nice ears. Over here, one ear sticking out. That's it. So here, because we have a little bit of extra, I'm putting in fuzz. What else? Okay, darken his ear. Put in his lines. Lines are very important for Hobbes. Okay, and then these lines, look at the curve of the lines. Very important. Sometimes his lines are really like a tiger, it's you have to keep the thick and the thin. And then the lines on the back. Here it is curving downward. Capture these curves, it's very important. It shows the direction of his body moving. And over here, we can do a little bit of fuzz because he's got white. Done? Tail. Sorry, tail.
It's the cheek.
There you. I might remember something a little later, but I'm going to leave that to for later. Let's see.
Line meets the cheek.
Sorry?
The forehead line meets the cheek line.
Where
Because
is
of
it? Let me see. Yeah, so what has happened is I've made him a little higher than Calvin's head. So I've had to show this. You're talking
no,
about
the
this
top.
forehead?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, that one
It's
doesn't
the white fuzz on the top side, no, the other side.
over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't meet actually. They've just left these kind of lines, That's it. They've not left anything else. So what has happened is here, because it's a color image, the color
the
takes care
separation
of the,
between the
yeah. So the pen mark is not going to be there, but the color is going to be there if you apply color to this. Okay. So all this while actually we've been working with the pen alone, no? Okay, now this one's challenging. He doesn't have a ear. Wonderful. I'm going to start with Hobbes. Back, arching his back a little bit more. And then this center
arch on
spine
the
is
back.
so cute. Sorry?
It's so beautiful, that arch, like yoga.
Yeah, exactly. So pretty, no? And then he still gives it some character with all this fuzz, So much of really, I mean, these guys have a lot of character. He really brings so much to it, and so minimally. Now his tail is going to come up and down. And then his leg, I like that part also. And here you could actually see, if you drew, you would see the base of his paws, if there were. Bill Watterson has obviously not done it. I'm doing it. There. See. Add in whatever you feel needs to be added. Don't restrict yourself. Now the curve of this tail is indicated only by our lines. So keep those lines nice and curvy at the right places. Otherwise, you will not understand. If you just put vertical lines, it will not feel like a curvy object. Getting, no? For it to look like a curvy object, the lines on a curvy object need to also curve. So his stripes are an excellent example of that. See, I curve it inward, and then one stripe here, and one here. Quite big, the stripes. Now the curves are becoming a little more rounded like this, downward rounded. See? Hand position, the curves of the hand become like very similar to a shirt. See, curving this way. And he's got some marks here. Now for the head. This is really tricky, because his face is turned away. So see, quite tricky. We are seeing the back of his head. And the ear, which is black. Now let's open his mouth over here. He's opened his mouth and he's got the snout. Eyes closed. Tricky part, very tricky, because you can't see too much. Now his hand, because I've taken his hand off, I'm going to have to put it here. And let's do Calvin. Come on, Calvin. I just want to get his face right. That's it. If I get his face perfect, job done. Nose is here. Spectacles. Spiky hair. Now that mouth. And the hand. Shirt downward. Oh, there's a belly button and all. Huh? Look at that. Oh, I'm sorry. You already tell me I'm off the camera. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay. Rounding of his knees. Another knee over here. So if you feel you can't imagine the knees, draw the knees, because even afterwards, even if you go in with black, it's not going to be a problem. Okay. And now I will go in with that black. What am I missing? His hands. And that thumb. It's so nice to get that thumb right. Okay. And the other hand. So now we've got this spiky hair. His head comes still here. There's an ear. And the hand that goes up with a thumb. Behind that, there should be a hand, but let's just pretend it's right like this. What am I missing? This thing. Mouth. There's a tongue. There you go. No ground, because these people are actually maybe we can do the ground also. What's the harm? There could be a ground. Okay, not so great, but proportions are right. It's the shape of the face and stuff like that that's not being clearly seen too well with this illustration. I'm going to jazz this up just a little bit more by putting in some musical notes. Okay, makes the whole thing look very genuine. How about that? He's having a gala time.
Very nice. I really missed it.
No. You will do this is simple stuff, Devashri. Nothing is difficult. Oh, sorry, Shalaka, you're showing something? Sorry. I didn't
You
realize.
find
Hold on.
all the caricatures
Oh, look at him.
and
Look at him. You got it.
all this anatomy and all those things you find very easy and all. But
No.
looking at this itself, I'm so scared. How am I going to draw it?
No. You will do it. You will do it. You watch the video. We basically did this outline business. Okay. We drew some shapes. And why it's looking nice, I'll be honest, Devashri. It's not because I've got most of it right. It's because I've got most of it proportionate.
Proportion and
Proportion is the important.
expressions you
Yeah.
have got very good. You have got the
So
expressions
if
very
your
well.
proportions are right, then everything looks very. Whereas if your Calvin was small over here, big over there, disproportionate, then you would not enjoy this as much, right?
Yes.
So that's what's important. So we worked with proportion. Today was all about drawing that circle everywhere, drawing his body shape everywhere, and maintaining that shape throughout the page. And now look at that. Straight away, it looks so nice,
Yeah,
right?
very, very pretty. This is looking.
Can you share a place where the title is also with the Calvin and Hobbes?
This one.
Yeah, a picture of the cover or something, so we can.
Oh, you want this? Ah, yes, of course, of course. I'll send you this photo. It's there online also, but I'll send you this photo of the cover so you can just get that lettering, just the lettering. So if you, this is where you will do the adjustment. If you feel you don't have the space, put it along the side here, put it along this side, wherever you have space, fit the Calvin and Hobbes. Don't let that be where I have put it. Put it where you can find space. Okay?
Yeah.
Works. I'll share this image with you. I'll also share the cover image with you and the recording. Okay?
Okay.
Slow it
Thank
down
you.
and see whether you can fill up your page.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Cool. So Bill Watterson, you should check out Bill
Figure
Watterson. And
drawing,
I'm
you are so good at figure drawing and portraits and things like that. No, I'm not at all good in that. I
no,
really
it
human figure drawing is very difficult. I find it
so
very difficult.
Devashri, start with caricatures. It can't go
Yeah.
wrong. Always start with these guys. These guys are very forgiving. One place his head is small, his leg is big, all that
They
doesn't
have to be
matter.
forgiving, otherwise I will never try.
Yeah, exactly. So do these kind of things and then get to real humans.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Cool. All
Yeah.
right. So next week, if you have any bright ideas for what we should do, which artist we should follow, let me know if you have any ideas. I'm not
Okay.
sure if it's going to be me or Aditi, because Aditi is also
Yeah.
back on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll see. Okay. But if you do have any suggestions on some artist you'd like to try, like Bill Watterson, maybe not caricature, something else, let me know.
Okay.
Put it on the chat. Okay.
Yeah.
All
Sure.
right. Thank you so
All
much.
right. Bye. Good night.
Bye. See
Bye.
you. Good night.